What's up, folks? Thank you for listening to the very first episode of Truth Hurts. You can check me on my Twitter at TruthHurtsST. This is where I'm going to be talking a lot about the NFL. I'll be doing a lot of the trending topics for the week that's going on in the NFL. And I'm going to take a different approach to it. I'm going to be playing a game of Madden 17, and I'll be playing every single week. I'm going to be playing a different game, and it's going to be what I feel is going to be the game of the week, or if it's a vote of what is going to be the game of the week that week, then I'll be playing that too. And every single week, whether I win or lose, it's more about just me kind of talking about the topics. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy talking about football. I hope you love listening to it. If you do, click that like button. And let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Now, starting off with the news that's taking the whole world by storm right now, and that's the whole controversy of Colin Kaepernick sitting during the national anthem. Now, I get what Kaepernick was trying to protest, and that's not even my beef here, really. What I think how he went about it is totally the wrong way. I get you're sitting for the national anthem, and everybody in the world could sit there and say, oh, he took a peaceful protest. Why can't you guys just get off his back? And, all this stuff. But, it really wasn't a peaceful protest because, he's sitting there and he's disrespecting the flag that our Army men and our Marines and, our guys went out there and fought for that freedom. And sure, people say, well, we didn't fight for the freedom to tell you what to do. We fought for the freedom so you could do whatever you like. Very understandable. But all you're doing is throwing a football, man. I mean, you're not putting your life on the line. You're throwing a football. At least you could do is stand up for the national anthem and, be right there for the national anthem. You got people dying out there in different countries for that right. But instead, you're just, I'm just going to go ahead and sit because of a couple of bad cops and what they do, to minorities and minorities being oppressed, and stuff like that. I mean, if minorities were so oppressed and they were being treated badly, then why aren't we talking to the president about it? Isn't the president black? I mean, come on. The president agrees with you. The president agrees with Colin Kaepernick, and he said that's his right to do that. I mean, so he's pretty much, because a couple of bad cops, he's going to go ahead and disrespect all of America and, not standing for the flag, because that's what America stands for, is, that in that American flag, that's all of America. That would be like people saying, well, I am going to go ahead and just think of black people differently because a black guy robbed me, or hell, I'm going to think of a Mexican differently because a Mexican robbed me. And, I'm not going to do anything for any kind of Mexicans, and that's just not right. It's stupid, really. It's just so stupid. And this whole thing with Colin Kaepernick, if you wanted to protest, go to a Black Lives Matter movement. Hell, stage a media, an interview and talk about it. Because more now, people are talking about not the fact that, what he was protesting. They're talking about the fact that he disrespected the flag. And when is he going to stand up? Is he going to stay sitting down throughout his whole career now? No, they're going to be. All they're talking about is Colin Kaepernick sitting down. So he didn't get much done with his protest. So I really don't understand it, and I don't get it. He could have went about it a different way, and that's all I got to say about that. That's pretty much the only political thing I really would like to talk about. I don't know what else is going to go on in the National Football League this year, but I mean, let's just get down to some football. Let's hate one another for football teams and what our teams do for one another. That is it, and that's all I got to say about that. And it ain't no news unless we're involving the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo is out 6 to 10 weeks with an L1 compound fracture. Can this guy stay healthy? Please, can this guy stay healthy? I'm not even a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I mean, Tony Romo is a great quarterback, and I love the competitiveness that he has in him. But he just gets injured. He's fragile. I think he needs the Monstars from Space Jam as his offensive line. blocking him, because if he gets hit with anything, hell, if he gets hit with reality, he's injured. Unbelievable, this guy. It is insane. It's ridiculous, but there's no need for the Dallas Cowboys to be stressing. They got a great second-string quarterback in Dak Prescott. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. This is one of the guys that I was watching when I was watching preseason. I was checking this guy out because, I mean, he was just on fire. And sure, it's preseason. People are just kind of laid back. They're getting ready for regular season. But, I mean, he doesn't need to be the greatest quarterback in the world. He just needs to get them to wins. He needs to be able to let them contend in the NFC East. If he's not contending in the NFC East, then they got a problem. But Dak Prescott, he's got, look at this, 78% passing, 454 passing yards, 5 touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns. In 3 preseason games. Look at it. It's 150 yards per game if you really like an average. But, that's pretty much enough. He's not playing the whole game. He's playing, a quarter or a half. So, double that. You're looking at about 300 passing yards a game, which is pretty awesome. You got Dez Bryant as your wide receiver. You got Ezekiel Elliott in your backfield, so you could, hand it off. You don't even need to pass the whole time. You got Ezekiel. You got all these guys that are going to help you out. Perfect. Alfred Morris. I think the Dallas Cowboys got Alfred Morris getting, and he's still elite. I don't even know why the Washington Redskins got rid of him. That's just ridiculous. That's redundant. It's redundant, I tell you. But, there's no need for them to stress. I think, they're going to be great. They did sign Mark Sanchez to a deal to, I guess, have as a backup for Dak Prescott, which I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move because besides Dak Prescott, their second string after that is Jamil Showers. And, he didn't look that great in preseason. He did all right, but, not contending for a playoff spot. So, and Mark Sanchez, he's not the greatest quarterback, but he can get him to some wins. Like I said, you got Dez Bryant, you got Terrence Williams, Ezekiel Elliott, all those guys. I ain't got to repeat myself over again. You got those guys helping you. They got them up and coming defense that's going to be great. All they got to do is pull out some wins. With teams in that division like the Philadelphia Eagles that are struggling, they have their rookie quarterback in Carson Wentz that's going to be starting, but he's still fresh. You got the Washington Redskins. They're still a playoff contending team, and you got the New York Giants, which they have a healthy Victor Cruz, and is going to be coming back here too. So all they got to do is just compete with these guys, and they'll be in it. But there's no reason for them to, have an excuse not to be a contender. There's no excuse for them not to win more than at least 8 games. If more, then great for them. Great for them. But with, like I said, Dak Prescott, I think is going to be unbelievable. He's going to be a guy to watch for. Also, news coming out of Minnesota is the newest news is Teddy Bridgewater. He just got injured, and he's going to be out for the season with a torn ACL. And oh my God, that is awful. That's terrible news because Teddy Bridgewater and the Minnesota Vikings are, they were a contender in that division with the Green Bay Packers, not so much with the Chicago Bears. The Detroit Lions, not really so much. They just lost Calvin Johnson. He retired. But with Teddy Bridgewater being gone, it's pretty much just the Green Bay Packers' division now. The only positive that I could see out of this is they just picked up Sam Bradford that just got cut by the Eagles, and now he's a quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, which they actually said that they're going to be putting in Sean Hill, which was the original backup quarterback to Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to be starting the first game. I don't think Sean Hill is any better than Sam Bradford. I think Sam Bradford has a lot of potential. He was always one of my favorites when he first started with the St. Louis Rams. And he was a great quarterback, and then he started getting his little injuries, and he just really hasn't looked the same since. If he can get back to that spot where he was, he was great, he was good, then I think they're going to be a contender. I think some sports websites were saying that it looks like the Green Bay Packers might go undefeated with Teddy Bridgewater going down. But, I mean, I wouldn't say not so fast with the acquisition of Sam Bradford. They could put him in as a contender. I mean, they have more than enough of a team to contend to be a playoff team. They have Adrian Peterson. I mean, Charles Johnson as a wide receiver. Cordell Patterson. I mean, these guys, Cordero Patterson, I mean, he didn't show much except for, kick and punt returning last year. But, I mean, he's an up-and-comer. He's practicing on the field. I mean, and he's doing great things. Their defense looks amazing. Linval Joseph, Anthony Barr, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith. That's my dog. Harrison Smith is my boy, man. He's off the hook. I mean, that defense is going to be great. And as long as they can compete with the Packers, at least the Packers, then I think they're going to be in great position to maybe even upset the Packers and win that division. I still think the Packers are going to make it to the playoffs, which I'll be talking about that in a little bit here. But they could make an upset in that division to steal the Packers' spotlight and being the champions in that division. But that's really all I got to say about that. I'd like to see how Sam Bradford does in the Minnesota Vikings uniform and how the Minnesota Vikings fare, especially after that disappointing loss in the playoffs where Blair Walsh missed the kick. And it was just like pretty much a kick that was given to him. And it was just bad, and that could have been the game winner, and they lost that. So I'd like to see how they're going to bounce back from that. The Eagles just announced Carson Wentz is going to be their Week 1 starting quarterback. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing. From the first time that I was watching the draft and I was checking out the prospects and I was looking at Carson Wentz, I was thinking, oh my God, if the Rams don't pick him up, then I mean they're going to be making the biggest mistake of their lives. And what did they do? They ended up picking up Jared Goff. And I'm not a hater on Jared Goff. I think he's going to be a good quarterback whenever he can, get his footing right and everything like that. But the Rams had the first round, the first pick in the draft, and they picked Jared Goff, and now he's set on being third string, which I don't even get. Like, why even get a quarterback, a franchise quarterback for, a team that's, it's new to the city of LA, but it's not a new team. But it's just like, why get a quarterback? That's like your main goal is to get someone that's going to be starting your first pick, and you're going to get him a third string. That's ridiculous. That's preposterous. I cannot believe that the Rams did that. Carson Wentz, on the other hand, when I see him, I see like a lot of like an Aaron Rodgers in him. So I think he's going to amount to big things. As far as his who he has to work with, he may not have much to work with in the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, he has Darren Sproles and Ryan Matthews in the backfield, but wide receivers, you got Josh Huff, you got Dorial Green-Beckham, which the Titans just lost him, which I think the Titans made a big mistake on that. But what are you going to do about it? I'm not the GM, but you got guys like that. Brent Selleck as a tight end, Zach Ertz. These guys, those tight ends are, they're going to be great. As long as Carson Wentz can stay protected and, not get hit so much and just kind of get the ball out of his hands quickly and into the wide receivers or tight ends' hands or the running back's hands, I think he's going to do great. As far as a better career goes, it's kind of hard to tell. Right now, Carson Wentz is going to get the starting quarterback job, so he's fresh out the gate. He's the first one out there. He's going to be darting. Jared Goff, we still got to see him start, which, I feel like, the Rams, if he was to start, he'd have a little bit more to work with because he has Todd Gurley. He's going to have Kenny Britt, Trayvon Austin. You got guys like that are, can take the helm in L.A. For the Rams. But as far as right now goes, I think it's going to be Carson Wentz, and that's going to take it. And it might have a little bit of a better, a better career. But, this is just opinions, a matter of opinions. You could agree with me. You don't have to. But That's just what I think for right now. And hey, who knows? Maybe a couple months from now, we could be talking about something different, and it could be something totally different. But as far as right now goes, all I can see is Carson Wentz being a better quarterback than Jared Goff is. And that's all I got to say about that. Last year, Cam Newton was the league MVP. And this year, I'm making my predictions of who I think is going to be the MVP this year. I'm just speaking specifically on quarterbacks, though. And to me, I think the person that has a lot to prove, and I think is going to be lights out the MVP this year, is going to be Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. His numbers last year were phenomenal, and he didn't even have Jordy Nelson on the team. And that was his number one wide receiver. Now he's going to have Jordy Nelson on the team. He's going to have Eddie Lacy, which slimmed down a few pounds, and he's going to be phenomenal. I mean, there's no reason for Aaron Rodgers to take the helm as being the MVP this year. He's sickening. He's gross. It's ridiculous how good he is. And I mean, to me, I think he's going to be the quarterback of the MVP quarterback this year. There's no reason for other quarterbacks like Eli Manning, now that he has Odell Beckham and Victor Cruz back. And Victor Cruz is healthy enough. He could be an MVP type of quarterback. You also got guys like Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers. Oh my goodness, these guys could also take the helm. As far as my top 5, who it's going to be ranked, I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. That's going to be at number 1, no doubt. And then it's going to be Tom Brady. And it's going to be insane because Tom Brady is going to be missing 4 weeks. The first 4 weeks this week, due to the suspension for the Deflategate. But I think he's going to have something to prove. Last year, when he came back, he was firing on all cylinders. It was like something like he had something to prove. He was pissed. He was pissed off at the league. And no doubt, I think he should be, because they're suspending him off of just assumptions. They don't have 100% proof that he was part of it. They're assuming because, hey, quarterbacks, they hold on to the ball. They handle the ball. So why wouldn't he be in on it? Which I think it's a terrible situation. And I've never been a big Tom Brady fan, but what's been happening to him has just been awful. But I think he's going to be great. I think Big Ben Roethlisberger. This guy, he has Antonio Brown in the backfield. What else do you need? You have D'Angelo Williams. You have Le'Veon Bell. Come on. Le'Veon Bell suspended for 3 games, but come on, man. You got all these guys. There's no reason for Big Ben to be the MVP this year. He threw what is it? 7 touchdowns, an NFL record. 7 touchdowns last year in 1 game. That's absurd. Cam Newton, he's going to be in the mix of being an MVP quarterback. And I even think Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson's a phenomenal quarterback, and he's going to be insane. He's going to be dope. And I can't wait to watch all these quarterbacks just evolve and have so much competition. Now that Peyton Manning is, out of the league and he's gone, he's going to be sorely missed. It's insane how much he's going to be missed. But these quarterbacks it's a new era of quarterbacks, and these quarterbacks are going to be freaking awesome, and I love it. I love every single bit of it. Now that's all the news that's going on around the NFL this week. You can always check back every single Wednesday. I'm going to have a new episode up every Wednesday, and we're talking about different topics every single week. You could check out my Twitter account at TruthHurtsST. I'll be posting topics that I'll probably be talking about in that coming week. And you could also check it out on my Facebook page. And if you like the video, please click that like button. Please, I'd appreciate it. And until then, I'll be seeing y'all. Peace.